Now this is the last heading of this chapter, back to basics. How are inscriptions deciphered? Earlier also we have studied about this, that the Brahmi and Kharoshti and Tamil and rest of the inscriptions were deciphered, and how these languages inscriptions were deciphered. Here we are going to study. So first of all, they have given about Brahmi language, which was the ancient language and which is similar to Indian languages. Like other scripts and like Sanskrit and Tamil, they are equivalent or they are similar of Brahmi. Most of the Sukan inscriptions were also written in Brahmi inscriptions. Now, in late 18th century, European scholars, they also studied the inscriptions or the account which was translated by the Pandits, Indian Pandits, or you can say the Brahmins. They translated the Indian text, and that text was used in Hindi, and it was also compared by the European scholars. And this with the help of this comparison, they got that Brahmi language is similar to Hindi or Sanskrit languages. Now, early inscriptions also, they also relate this inscription with Sanskrit or in somewhere in Prakrit language also. Now, this language was deciphered by James Princip. He deciphered the Ashokan Brahmi in 1838. Here they have given you example of a Brahmi inscription, and they have compared this with Devanagari inscription. You can see the differences, like this symbol is somewhere equivalent to ka, this is cha. You can see somewhere we can say, we can, if we compare, then we can say that this is quite similar, and the here these two words are not similar, but most of the words were similar in Brahmi, in Devanagari, or in Sanskrit, even in Tamil language. Okay, so if the question comes, you have to find out how the Brahmi language was deciphered. So this is the answer. Next is about Kharoshti language. Kharoshti is also, it is found in the coins of Indo-Greek kings, and those kings also wrote in Kharoshti scripts. Now, most of the Europeans, they compared the letters of Kharoshti with English, and the way as they used to write A, it was similar how they used to write Apollodotus. Okay, now Princip also identified that this Kharoshti language is also somewhere it is equivalent to Prakrit, like the coding of both the languages was similar. Here the next heading is historical evidence from inscriptions. What type of historical evidences we got from these inscriptions? Now we have studied about Ashoka. There you studied that in most of the places, like where we were reading about Brahmi language, and as well in other inscriptions, they have used the word Devdasi or Piyadasi for Ashoka. They have not written the word Ashoka. They have not discussed this in place. They have discussed Piyadasi. Okay, and most of the paleography means it is the study of ancient historical handwriting. So through this handwriting, they decipher the reading and dating historical manuscript when these languages were written, and what how they used to read these languages. So somewhere when the historians, or you can say the paleographists, they studied the historical or ancient handwriting, then they got that most of the account were related, and Ashoka's name was mentioned as Piyadasi, or somewhere in other scripts also they have used these words like Piyadasi or uh, beloved of God. Now these epigraphists, the meaning is, epigraph is the study of inscriptions or epigraphs as writing. It is the science of identifying graphemes, clarifying their meanings, classifying their uses according to dates, culture, context, and drawing conclusion about the writing and the writers. Okay, so you can see that the epigraphist, somewhere they relate that the ancient writing was discussing about the rulers. Here they have written one account about Ashoka, that Ashoka claimed that before Ashoka, none of the rulers were having their reporters, like no one is reporting them what is going in their kingdom. So it was not true, but Ashoka, he claimed that they were not having any reporters, and he appointed one reporter as Padivedkas. So here they have given about description about Padivedkas in source number 10. You just read the source properly. Okay, now these are the coins of Indo-Greek king Maninder. Okay, you can see that here they have written something. It might be the name of king. This is the image of the king, and somewhere they have they have discussed about the identity. So it identify the king's role. These are the questions like, how can we throughout the subcontinent understand the Prakrit used in Patliputra? So it is not sure that the people were using this language. Here they have given you the example of source 11. Here you can see in source 11 they have discussed about Ashoka and about his physical or mental pain when he fought the war of Kalinga. You see that thousands of people were killed there, and after that Ashoka's life was transformed, and he became the follower of a new dhamma. Okay, so here you will be writing about the account of Ashoka. Limitation. Now what were the limitations? So here they have given about the limitation of inscription, why the inscriptions were not popular, or why it is not deciphered. So there were so many problems with that. So first of all, they have discussed about technical limitation. Here they are saying that the letters were fainted somewhere, okay, and the construction were uncertain, and the letters were damaged or missing. These words cannot tell the exact meaning what the word was, what the inscription was written for, and sometime the inscription which were existed that time, it was not survived for a long time. So these were the technical problem or limitations, you can say. Now second, they have given about fundamental problems. In fundamental problems, political and economic causes were there. Now in political, you all know that these rulers, they used to destroy the evidences of other rulers, and for economic use also, few, they were not that much popular, so they were not using their these inscription in other countries. So wherever we got the inscription which were spread, or you can say transaction were made through the coins and all, there we can see it was vastly populated, vastly spread, circulated. That is why we got the economic or political um, importance. But somehow the inscription was it was not that much popular. Okay, so these were the importance of the inscriptions. This way we have completed the chapter, and you can see here we have covered all important points.